Welcome to the Wong Decision. This is a podcast where a couple northern boys talk about another wonderful northern boy called Benedict Wong, the phenomenal Hollywood / British actor. Each week we're going to go through something else that he's been in. This week we are watching a lovely little short film called My Dad the Communist.
Yeah, well, Benedict Wong is the kind of person who back in the day you may recognise from films such as Danny Boyle's Sunshine.
Yeah.
Big film, that.
Is that on our list? Did we take it off?
Can't remember.
Too many long things.
Can't remember. I have to double check that.
Yeah.
That was in 2008. A year later, he's in Moon.
Yeah, a tiny part in Moon, right?
Still in it, though.
Yeah.
Big film.
Yeah.
He's also in the Peter Serafinowicz show, which is a effort to say.
You should be good at that, right? Isn't that name from your neck of the woods?
I don't know if it's exclusively from Poland, but yeah, it's that kind of part of the world, isn't it?
Because how do I say your name properly? Dopierawa?
Yeah.
With a W.
You can roll the R as well if you like.
Dopierawa.
Yeah.
And that's an L, creating that W sound.
It's an L with a little line through it.
I didn't know there was a little line through your thingy.
Neither did I until I was older.
So I'm guessing on your passport it isn't there.
It's not there, but they definitely got rid of it to anglicise it.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
But so theoretically, the lineage of that name, it did have the slash until...
Well, my grandparents' gravestone, it has the slash.
Very interesting.
But yeah, on any documentation for the generation below, so their kids, my dad's generation, gone.
Are you sure that it wasn't just like somebody chipped it by accident while they were doing the grave?
They did it twice on each name.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, on the exact same letter.
Or were they just trying to cross out one of them?
Yeah, we don't need that. Oh, I did it again. We don't need it again. But you also may recognise him from 15 Stories High, which he was in for 2 years, which was that BBC show as well?
Yes, with Sean Locke.
Yeah,
is that right?
You recognise him from this. You know, there's lots of other things. He was in a show called 11th Hour, which had Patrick Stewart in it, and this is all before he was in the film that we're watching today, My Dad the Communist, the short film made by, and I apologise if I butcher this name, made by Lab Kai Mo, writer and director. 17 minutes. Like you said, it's freely available on the internet, or you can rent it for £1.
I want to mention that you said butcher, and that's just so apropos of the content of the film.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, sharp knives in this film, very sharp knives. But we wanted to watch this one because, firstly, it's quite highly rated on IMDb compared to a lot of his stuff.
You got some fluff on your chin.
Oh, do I?
I don't want
to. Oh, it's like not just fluff; it's like a whole hair.
Yeah.
Ah, thanks.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I couldn't stand idly by
and just let that happen. We also wanted to watch it because it's a bit of an outlier in the rest of his filmography around a similar time. Like, he's doing a lot of stuff that's fairly big, you know?
Yeah, I totally see your point, because this is like, compared to Electric Dreams, this is like zero budget.
Yeah.
And done pretty well.
Yeah, it's done pretty well.
They've not gone over ambitious with any of it.
Go on.
With the exception of that one point, I don't know if I'm jumping the gun by going in, but I'm just going to go in.
Go for it.
It's a combination of like handheld and, you know, just simple tripod-y stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's that one moment where they show the news of like massacres in China.
Yeah.
And that's shot suspiciously similarly to how the rest of this is shot.
Yeah, and the buildings are clearly not Chinese buildings.
Right, yeah,
like
yeah.
The wall behind them is clearly in like fucking Doncaster or somewhere. And the room that they're in is such a sort of 90s, and it's not, obviously it's shot in 2009, but it's such a kind of 90s looking or like late 80s looking era British building.
Yes, that's such a good point, actually, the interior.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be this hospital where loads of people are being brought in, and there's just like 3 people on a sort of wooden floor with no beds
with like
or anything.
berry stains on their top.
Yeah.
Which is great. I mean, who cares? We're aware of what we're watching. You have to suspend disbelief, don't you?
Yeah. I think they just should have not actually shown it, though, because it just takes you out of it so much.
Yeah, I agree. But I do think that this was way more student filmy than I expected it to be.
Yeah, you're right. I do now see why you were like, wait, is this 2009?
Yeah.
Because you're right, this is like a student film, and he's already been in Moon.
Yeah, exactly. It really, like, to the point where like the music, like having worked on independent short films that people are doing for like the end of their degree or just because they're just starting out,
Wow.
The music is like, we've only got enough budget for this one thing, so we just keep using it. We've got maybe two things, but we'll have to keep using that one the most. Like whenever a scene ends, there's like a little piano.
Oh,
moment.
was that? I didn't actually clock onto that. Was it like always the same?
Pretty much the exact same motif.
Great.
Maybe slight variations, but you can imagine that they've got this sort of like 5-minute long piece of music that they maybe use for the full credits or something, or like, you know, and then the rest of it they'll chop out and put it in different areas.
But you know what? I think I'm kind of here for that, because you know when we watched that Blade Runner short,
yeah,
and it was like 5 minutes long and it had a lot of different
music,
things happening.
Yeah, but it's just funny how that music. It's like they put into, no offense to the composer, but it's like they put into AI or a search engine like music for student film.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Who was it composed by? Have you got that information to hand?
Well, as I am the IMDb guy.
You're the IMDb guy.
Of course I do.
This is a newly established thing. We're on, what are we on, episode 5?
Episode 5, yeah.
And as of the previous week's episode, no, the previous 2 week. Is this episode 6? Did we do 4 and 5 yesterday? I mean, 2 weeks ago.
We might have been.
Basically, this is batch number 2. And as of this batch, you're the IMDb guy.
Yes.
Which makes me feel so comfortable.
I'm here for it.
So,
and to answer your question,
to wit,
there were 2 composers.
Oh, great.
Credited on IMDb, Bethany Dirks and Cassia Middleton.
Cool.
I think the music's lovely, by the way. I'm not
fair.
necessarily knocking
nice as well.
its quality. It's just that maybe with it paired with the visuals, it just feels that.
Yeah.
And it looks like it was fairly early in their careers as well. But it did exactly what it needed to do. And the way the whole film was shot, the acting, everything just was like, this is a really nice story, and no one's doing a bad job.
Yeah.
But this is way more like Matchstick than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that's fair, actually. Me too.
For Benedict Wong.
I think
at that time.
Based on just the name, I think I was getting a vibe that it might look a bit like that. What's the thing we saw the TV glow? Or
I saw the TV glow. Yeah,
I saw the TV glow. I was getting, that kind of aesthetic from the name. My Dad the Communist.
Super A24.
Yeah.
Maybe even too niche for that.
And yeah, right. But then to go in and it's like, oh, is this like way more raw? What I liked is, from things that I do, I noticed that having, like, basically it seems like they spent their entire budget on actors.
Yeah.
Which I think is great, because for such a short thing and such a small story, there was a lot of different people in it.
There was. And it's amazing that this I don't know if this would have anything to do with budget, but even if it does have something to do with budget, like, we know that working on like independent stuff, boundaries and constraints is where you can obviously have the best art. Or like, that's where it can come from.
When you have a box to work in, that's when you do your best stuff.
Yeah,
right.
So what I'm about to say could be a budget thing, but I think even if it was, it's still valid. But you get Benedict Wong, who's clearly the most famous person in this, even at that time.
Yeah.
And he doesn't say anything.
Yeah, okay,
He's got like 4 lines.
But
the whole premise of his character is that he doesn't speak.
Yeah. It's not like he just doesn't have any lines. It's like his whole thing
his
is
whole
that he's
character
a
is
silent person.
Yeah. Well, it's like one of my favorite films is A Ghost Story, and Casey Affleck spends 90% of that film just under a white sheet.
True.
And it didn't need to be Casey Affleck. It could be any fucking person, but he did it. It's like, this dad could have been any actor that didn't speak, but you got Benedict Wong to be that guy.
Well, I'd say maybe if it's a non-speaking role, maybe it's even more important to have a actor with some gravitas and stuff.
Yeah.
I heard, what's Marky Mark's name? Mark Wahlberg,
yeah.
I heard legend that you never see the back of his head in anything. I suppose unless maybe they're filming both sides at once. But what he does is he goes in and films his side of the conversation, and then he fucks off, and then the other people have to act against his doubles.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. Yeah. I wonder
that's the only way that you could possibly do your cryo freezing at 4 a.m. and then your 5 hours of yoga and whatever in it.
Yeah, I wonder what they make. Like, how much does he charge more? Because it's like, I'm gonna have to employ a guy to be a double as well. And they're like, no, don't worry about it. You just do it. And he's like, no.
Yeah.
Or he's like, if you get me, you're also going to have to get John, and he's going to be my double. And
that's probably the thing.
Yeah.
My guess is that he's probably not in charge of sorting that.
He's just like, I'm
probably
not going to be there.
I will not be there. Goodbye.
Yeah, sort it. All right, let's move on to him in the film, in the short film. I think it was a very touching short film.
Should we glaze on the plot for anybody that might not have watched along?
Yeah. So the IMDb, there's two. Would you like me to read the one that is 5 lines long?
Yes.
Or would you like me to read the one that is
No.
an uncountable amount of lines long? It's like one of those texts that you get where you're like, oh, I'll read that in a bit.
Yeah. I'll get back to you in a few weeks, mate.
Where you're pissed off about the contents of it because it's so long before you've read it.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, actually, this wasn't so bad. Yeah, give me the 5 line and then we'll fill it out ourselves.
All right. So Tony is a teenager whose inscrutable Chinese dad has a near-death experience in a car crash. Tony yearns to break down the cultural barriers between him and his dad before it's too late.
Is that what this was about?
I mean, I guess so. It's about
Did he have a near-death
connection.
experience?
Well, at the very start, it was implied a car crash, didn't it?
Yeah.
And he came in and was like, oh, I just had a car crash.
Yeah.
And it was just like, no big deal. And the people ran out, the wife and son ran out to check the car. And he's just stood in the kitchen, like, holding his back a little bit.
And the car was a little bit...
Had a little bit
I mean, to be fair, if I was working on something and I smashed a car up to that extent, I'd be like, this is next level.
Whoa.
But when you see it on screen, it's like...
Yeah.
it
They
basically
clearly
looks
shot that at the end.
Right, yeah.
We need this car.
Yeah. Or they found a car with the right colour that just had a bit of a bent bonnet or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, the idea is he's a bit like shell-shocked, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
And he's had a bit of a car crash.
He doesn't speak, and when he does, he doesn't say. He says something that's like quite hard to make heads or tails of, and you just sort of like, oh, okay. And the son yearns for connection with his father.
Yeah, the kid's what, about 20?
I would guess. Yeah, he's in his maybe he's supposed to be in his late teens at one point, and then he gradually into his 20s. And probably, with the short film thing, you just take it for what it is.
Yeah. Oh, and he's a young kid at some points as well.
And he's a kid
with a different actor, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
like it feels cool at this budget. It's like, oh, they've got some kids doing the different ages and
they
stuff.
didn't just put him in like kid clothes, like you said the other day with Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
Hey, I am kid now. Like,
I didn't feel like Ben Dubs was old enough to be that actor's dad. Did it work?
Yeah, I think so. I feel like the actor probably looked in his early 20s, and Ben Dubs looked probably in his mid to late 40s.
Yeah, all right, that's totally fine, isn't it?
So if you think about generations having kids earlier and all the rest of it,
yeah, good
probably
point.
probably works out fine. I actually thought Benedict Wong was really believable again.
Yeah. He's just good, isn't he?
He's just good.
Great.
Like, even when he's not speaking, he's got a gravitas. Unfortunately, alongside like the main guy who's doing okay work in this for a short film, and perhaps he's gone on to do great things and has really developed. But like next to Benedict Wong, it was like, oh, that guy's in a student film, and Benedict Wong's is this person. He is the Chinese dad. Yeah,
that's fair. Actually, I thought that the lines that the son had were
unhelpful.
Yeah, it was like they were almost like vignettes with how direct and efficient the storytelling was.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
kind of has to be, doesn't it?
It's like the voiceover from the kid. Yeah, maybe it has to be, but this was like really extreme.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's a shot of him and a girl that's about the same age walking through a nice meadow, like the gladiator thing, just glazing the hands across the wheat.
Yeah.
And the voiceover from the son character says, nobody touched me until I was 18. And then the girl like
holds his hand.
They hold hands.
Yeah.
And then she immediately goes, I love you. And he immediately goes, no one said that to me before.
Nobody has ever said that to me before. And then it cuts.
And that's the whole scene.
Say it back, bro.
Yeah. And it's that scene is about 15 seconds long, and they do this entire love arc.
Yeah, and you just got to get it. You're just like, well, cool.
Yeah.
Which, there is something to that. Obviously, if you had like a longer form, or you had like, writers who were able to tell and get that tell you all that information, get all that emotion across with something a bit more natural. That's a real craft, and it's a real,
it's so funny, because like we're coming at this from a perspective of watching proper huge Hollywood films and stuff.
Yeah.
But when I compare this to something that I made, I'm like, this is so good.
Yeah,
like,
fair enough.
They told the whole story, and it was like really interesting and engaging, and even despite all these little foibles and
you do forgive it. Like I know it sounds like I'm laying into it a little bit, but really, I thought it was good. Like, and I think it told a touching story, and the actual message is what's important for that. You know, he's trying to get that across in the best way that he can with the constraints that they have.
Yeah. What is that message? I feel like compared to me, you're good at understanding and maybe disseminating themes and stuff.
Oh, right.
I operate more
pressure is on.
More on vibes and tones and stuff.
Okay.
And I tend to sometimes miss larger themes.
I think, well, for me, the obvious theme is about connecting with your family while they're here, and to do that, basically. The message being do that before it's too late. And then also the idea of the inscrutable Chinese dad stereotype that they allude to at the start, or that they don't allude to, that they say at the start. Is laced with...
So it's one of those subtle allusions where they go, my dad is a stereotypical Chinese man.
Inscrutable Chinese man, yeah. Is something that is rooted in trauma. And because he mentions about his parents and stuff going to a prison.
Oh, as in, Ben Dubs' parents.
Yeah, and, generational trauma passed down. And the sort of resentment that this second generation immigrant boy has to his first generation immigrant dad, because he sees him as, inscrutable. Maybe unloving or whatever, but really, he's got good reason to be like that. And if he was to communicate that, it would break all those barriers down, but that's just not what they do. Yeah. Like that generation and immigrants and stuff as well. Like my dad's had a similar thing with his parents when they came over and stuff like that. So
were your grandparents the ones who came over?
Yes.
Is that how many generations in you are?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
your dad is the son in this?
Yeah.
In terms of thinking, and were there similar things?
Similar themes, not so pronounced, but similar themes, because my dad was the youngest of three, so I think this would probably be closer to my eldest uncle, my dad's brother,
right?
Because he was the first kid. But then, to be fair, he came with him. I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting. I was wondering this, right? If I have a kid, and we both move to another country, are we both first generation immigrants, even though we're different generations?
I don't know. Yeah, that's not a bad. Yeah, I don't know. No, probably not. Depending on the age that you move, perhaps.
Oh, like if you're young enough, it's like, it doesn't count.
No, they didn't really acclimatize to the other place, so then
what if it was
this. But if you're like 15, a teenager, don't know.
I don't know how that works. 'Cause you're not second generation immigrant, are you?
No. Well, no, I guess.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or maybe you are. Maybe it just goes from whoever's the oldest when they go, and then it's the generations of their family tree down from there. Yeah,
just handed down, yeah. But I think there's a lot that you could talk about in it from themes. I think they did a good job, and I think he played the character brilliantly. Like when he spoke Chinese in this, first time we've seen him speak Chinese.
It is the first time that we've heard that,
he hasn't done any of that in Marco Polo, right?
Not in the one episode that we saw.
No, okay. So I think this is the first time we're seeing him speak Chinese, and supernatural. It didn't feel like, you hear some actors who are playing like, well, maybe it's different.
When you say supernatural, you mean super?
Oh, it's supernatural, yeah.
The opposite of supernatural.
Yeah, it's not supernatural, it's supernatural.
Yeah.
Because like when I hear some people doing like I can't remember who it is now, but there's a female actor. She's definitely from like Polish descent.
Ilyana Paslovsky.
No, it's like a Jennifer Lawrence, but it's not Jennifer Lawrence. Anyway, and I heard her doing some Polish in a film once, and I was like, "Whoa, this sounds really weird." Like an American person doing this Polish thing, it just didn't feel right. So perhaps I don't have. Maybe a Chinese person listening to Benedict Wong would hear him speak and go, "Whoa,
right."
Hell.
He's proper Salford with his Chinese.
Yeah, but to me, just like he speaks Chinese.
Yeah, totally.
Which he probably does.
Yeah, I imagine so.
And then he's got to do a Chinese accent, for when he's speaking English, and it feels completely normal and natural. Yeah. Everything he does just feels so grounded.
Yeah, it does.
And he elevated it by grounding it.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
That's a really good way of putting it. I feel like that's something that he does in a lot of stuff. That was the same thought that I had in that episode of Electric Dreams, where he gives so little like sci-fi revelry magic energy and so much just like, I'm just a fucking bloke.
Yeah.
And then it makes this sci-fi thing like, oh, this feels like a real world where people have normal human emotions
knocking
and stuff.
about. Yeah.
And this, very similarly,
Mm-hmm.
he's so sort of blank that you're like, oh yeah, he just feels like a dude who works in a what are they, like a restaurant.
Yeah, it looks like they own the restaurant, doesn't it?
Yeah. Can we talk about all the knives?
Yeah.
For a 17-minute thing, this had 2 entire knife scenes.
Yeah, so he gets threatened with a knife.
Yeah, by a couple of like 16-year-olds or something.
Dickhead kids, yeah. And that's where the communist thing starts, isn't it?
Yes.
Right,
because they're accusing him of being a communist.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be some sort of like more through line with that, where he was going to be like, I am a communist because of my roots or whatever. And they kind of allude to it a little bit when there's that scene with the massacre on the news and what he says. But
he says something like, you
have to be cruel to be kind.
Yeah, because the other guy, like the white guy who's watching it with them, in the, where are they? I don't know. They're in like the waiting room for the restaurant or something. I don't know where
they're in the reception.
Reception,
area.
That's the word, yeah. And so they're all just like watching it up on the TV. And the white guy goes like, oh, well, what are they doing? That's communism for you. Everyone's dying.
Yeah.
Terrible. And then Benedict Wong gets really annoyed and he's like, in Mandarin, he goes, you have to be patient. You got to be cruel to be kind. And he sort of storms off. Is that what he says?
Something like that, yeah. Something to that effect. Which makes you think...
might imply maybe he is a communist.
Yeah, and then there's also the thing of like, when there's a dream sequence where he's talking to his son about what his grandfather had gone through, Benedict Wong's father, and he talks about Chairman Mao promising to make the peasants, prosper or something. So it makes you think, okay, maybe there is that. But it wasn't... I thought it was going to be more about that.
Yeah, fair. It could have been called My Dad the Silent Man.
Yeah.
Or something. That felt like it was...
Yeah, or the inscrutable... You could call it inscrutable Chinese man.
Right.
Which is what he calls him at the start.
But to be fair, I think in terms of titles, that would make me think it was a comedy.
Right, okay,
but this is perfectly ambiguous that you don't really know what the tone's going to be from that title.
Fair enough.
And then there's a scene where because he's distracted about his wife having passed away, and the son is going like, he didn't even talk then. I don't know if he even...
Didn't even notice.
And in that absent-mindedness, he fucking slices the end of his finger off with a butcher's knife. And in a film of such modest set design and budget and stuff, to cut in and see that the end of the finger is off and there's just blood pooling from it was like,
they spent some budget on that, I reckon.
It shat me up.
It was pretty good. It was quite well done. I do think like there's something to be said for just decent prosthetics.
Yeah.
And just getting the angles right and the colours right so that you can sort of go, if we just show it for a second.
Yeah. And it was good. Like I think it was a reveal as well, because you saw the knife and the blood, and then when the knife moved, it revealed the top of the finger separated, so it kind of went in layers, like, oh.
Yeah, totally. And they said like, we thought we'd lost you there or something, and it was like, would I have that response if I was in the room with someone who's cut off the end of their finger? I'd probably be like, well, we have to really make sure we stop the bleeding, and they're going to pass out probably. But I don't think I'd be thinking that we'd lost them.
I don't know. Maybe when it's a loved one, especially, you're terrified, aren't you? Like they've severed a limb, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Do you know? It reminds me of. Did you see not Poor Things, but the other one that year with
Kinds of Kindness.
It was
it's on my list and I just didn't get around to it because it was 4 or 5 days long or something.
Is it? Okay. Can I tell you one thing that happens in it?
Of course.
And I suppose this is a spoiler warning for you and to our dear viewer/listener, that I'm going to spoil one little moment in that film. It's going to take me about 45 seconds if you want to clang through.
Start the clock.
There's a bit where Emma Stone is trying to cut her own finger off.
Right.
And the way that they edit it is amazing. And apparently Emma Stone herself was the one that suggested this. So you start seeing some gruesome stuff, and then it cuts to her, and she's wincing and stuff. And as the viewer, you think like, oh, okay, like it's over. And then they cut back and show more. It's like, oh, it came back. And it's so full on. And the fact that you kind of think you're safe and then you're not safe.
Right, yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, cool. That's a horror-y thing as well, to be fair.
Right. Is that like a horror tactic?
Yeah, a little bit, where you think it's over and then it's back worse.
Right. That makes so much sense.
A little moment of like a little moment of, okay, all right, they're shielding us from that.
That might be like I was saying about the Doctor Strange director putting in a little bit of horror into a space where these superhero fans aren't used to it, and they're all like, whoa, and maybe that's the same for me.
Yeah.
Like, they do a little horror editing thing, and I'm like, whoa, fuck it up, because I don't watch horror.
Like with this, with My Dad the Communist, it's that shocking juxtaposition. Like, if you're watching a gory film, like if you're watching Terrifier 2, you're just so fucking numb to it by the end of it that you're like, oh, and now he's ripping a face off, like,
yeah, right.
Do you know what I mean? You're like, okay, and they're showing the whole thing, and there's lots of blood split, and you're like, but if they do chopping the end of your finger off in a drama like that, you're like, holy fucking shit.
Which I guess very similar in Kinds of Kindness and in...
Yeah, exactly.
I've
exactly.
Unspoiled it again. No, it's fine. Move on.
Well, there's something to do with fingers, but who knows what it is?
Who knows what it is? Could be that the fingers were a bit grubby while they were trying to cook their food.
Exactly. You're trying to cook food, wash your hands, you do.
Oh, I thought I'd lost you there. You were just washing your hands. It's okay.
The water was a bit hot. Mixing the cold with it. So let's move on to his look.
Yeah.
So this is becoming part of a thing.
This is a segment you like, isn't it?
I find him fascinating looking. And part of the reason why I find him so fascinating looking is because, have you seen his IMDb picture?
Show me.
What a guy. He looks so cool. Like,
is it possible that this is the one that I saw that I thought was Marco Polo?
No, it's a press shot.
It might be though, you know. No, because I do remember him being outside in the sun, but that's the kind of cool, very modern clothes that I saw associated with the name Marco Polo, and I was like, oh, this show looks good. I think he's like a detective or something.
Right.
I think it might have been from that same press shoot.
So cool. He looks so cool in that.
His look in this, you know, was particularly... Yeah, he's good. It was particularly noteworthy to me because I think, to my point of him looking too young to play Matey Boy's dad, I think the way that he was styled, and particularly like with the long kind of shaggy hair, he looked very youthful and very young. Yeah,
he looked like he wasn't really looking after himself, but not in a way that's like, oh, he drinks too much and is like, you know, doesn't shave his beard and is putting on loads of weight or whatever. It was more like he's still a kid himself.
Yes.
Like, and he also, maybe they did this on purpose, I don't know, but there's something about the fact of like, you get some people who proportionally, and maybe Benedict Wong is one of these people where their like back is a bit longer than like their legs. No, their torso is longer than it seems like it should be. So like head to toes are in one place, but the hips might be moving up and down. Yeah, and they've like tucked his shirt in a way where his trousers look really low, like he's just kind of low riding these trousers. Yeah. But maybe it's also just his figure, I don't know. But it helped to make him look kind of like he just doesn't give a fuck, and he's just like throwing these trousers on, and they're like kind of hanging a bit low. Got you. So the shirt doesn't quite tuck in properly into the trousers. Right, it's slightly out, and the belt's a bit not really doing the job it should. So are you alluding to like a general kind of like not caring for himselfness? Yeah, like a schlubbiness. A schlubbiness. Yeah. A disheveled nation. Yeah. But he does it in a very different way to like, oh, he's got baked beans down his top or whatever. It's you know, it's a different kind of vibe. Like he's still wearing a shirt and like suit trousers. Yeah, true. Or a blazer. But just kind of schlubbily. But just not in the right way. Yeah. I think it was. He's doing just what he should be doing. But but like just the bare minimum kind of thing. Like, as a dad, I should be wearing a suit, and so I will. But that's it. Yeah. It was like that was another area where I felt like you can feel the micro budget of it. That if they had a slightly higher budget with more to play with in terms of hair and makeup and stuff, I feel like they would have made his hair just look like he was a bit more older, because that with his clothes they sell that really well, but I think with his hair he just looks like much younger. Yeah, he does. And if they'd have had just like a little bit of grey, and I don't know what it would be. Perhaps that's authentic to real life, like younger dads in that culture. Yeah, you know, and the way that they would hold themselves, carry themselves, and you know. I like your thinking there. That's very generous. I just think that where you're seeing deliberate realism, I'm seeing we didn't have the means to deliberate on anything, and you just look how you look. Both could be true. That's true. They're not mutually exclusive. Yeah. Can I move us on a little bit? Yeah. That is your role in all of this. Its IMDb rating is 7.8, which is pretty high. Yeah. Like, it's pretty good. And it's got 16 reviews. Some of them brutal. Like who the fuck is giving this 1 out of 10? Do you know what I mean? But like, but then it doesn't have any 3s, doesn't have any 6s, but it's got a few of everything else.
That's such a confusing way of phrasing that.
It's just a smattering of reviews.
Okay.
And it sort of generally goes around this, evens out about 7.8. But somebody or multiple people have given this a 10 out of 10. And one person who gave this a 10 out of 10 left a review.
And are these critics or just IMDb users?
User reviews. Reviews. There doesn't seem to be any critic ratings or reviews on here.
Because you're the IMDb guy, so I don't really know how IMDb reviews work.
Yeah.
So can I just make an account today and put a review on this film?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe I will.
But you can rate it and you can review it separately.
Cool.
So 16 ratings, but 1 review left by Sam Thornton, 88987, back in 2019. So 10 years after the film was made. But,
I'm on the edge of my seat.
7 years ago. Peng Big Frank is a very proud son, is the name of this review.
Okay.
So this movie brings a tear to my eye every time I watch this. Benedict Wong's performance makes Daniel Day-Lewis look like Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire's catching strays there.
Yeah.
His son, Peng Big Frank, was crying with happiness at the premiere. The fact that this didn't win every award is simply disgusting.
Wow.
After Peng Big Frank found out about his dad wasn't nominated for any awards, nearly drove him to attempt suicide. And Peng Big Frank is the most life-loving person I've ever known. Please give it a 5-star review for his sake, because he may try it again. Also, there was a mad plot twist to find out his dad was the communist. I farted. Can you see why I read this review out?
So the fact that the dad was a communist was a plot twist, according to this reviewer. That's interesting.
And that he farted.
He farted. So wait, who's Peng Big Frank?
Well, it's down as it being like he says it initially, like it's the character, the main son in the thing.
But the way he's talking, it feels like it's the son of the writer-director.
Yeah.
Is that...
Or also, at one point I read it as him being Benedict Wong's son. The son in this film is called Tony.
Yeah.
So it's not him.
And what's the actor called who plays Tony?
Scroll
quick.
Soo-Hun Lee, I believe.
So
unless
not
I'm
Peng Big
butchering
Frank.
His name. Not Peng Big Frank.
In any way, shape or form.
So I don't know what's going on there. But if we chop out stuff that we just really don't understand, he says Benedict Wong's performance makes Daniel Day-Lewis look like Tobey Maguire. We do understand that.
We do understand that. Yeah, you're right. That is harsh on Tobey Maguire.
Yeah. And very kind to Ben Dubs.
Yeah, I guess so.
He also is asking for a 5-star review, which makes me think, okay, well, this is out of 10. So is this from a different place?
Yeah. He's not understood the format.
Yeah.
But he left a review, right? Like he left a 10
out of 10.
A 10 out of 10 and then said give it 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
I just want to roll back. I think comparing Ben Dubs to Daniel Day-Lewis is completely sensible. It's only Tobey Maguire that I think comes off badly in that.
In this film, I think it might be a stretch to say that Benedict Wong makes Daniel Day-Lewis look like Tobey Maguire. I could say over entire filmography, fair enough. They could be close to each other, maybe.
Is he smashing it out the park in this? He's
good.
He's good. When there's that scene very late on where that the kid uses as an example, his only example, to know that his dad loved him.
Yep.
And because they've never said I love you to each other.
Yep.
And the scene that he uses is when there's the kid is like what, about 10 or something, or 8, and then a girl who's maybe about 12 pushes him off a swing in the park.
Yep.
And then Ben Dubs just flips out.
Loses his shit.
And he's like, you fucking touched my son. What the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck... You say sorry right now. And she's like, no. He's like, say sorry. I'll take you to the fucking police. And she's like, all right, take me to the police then. And he's like, all right. And he grabs her and takes her to the police station.
Don't grab her, don't grab her. That's how the film ends, with him smacking her as well.
Right.
Because initially we're like, he didn't smack her, and then it flashes back and it's like, he did smack her.
Yes, because he then goes silent again in the police station, doesn't he? The police officer's like, did you smack this girl?
Yeah.
Because she accuses him of it, and then he just goes back to his stum thing. But then the kid at age 8 is like, he did smack her.
He did smack her. Fuck yeah, Dad.
And then we didn't know whether, because of the low budget of it all, we just missed what was supposed to be a really crucial smack. It was like, I don't remember that.
They come back to it.
They flashed back, and then
It's a sign that he loved.
Cuts to black. And
Yeah.
He loved me.
Yeah, which is kind of, again, like it's
That's
this whole like
fucking mad.
second generation immigrant thing. You know, there's like that's something fucked up about that's the way that I know my dad loved me, but that's all I got.
Yeah, I guess if that was all you heard.
So like fair enough. And then I also thought his performance was really good in the fact that like he loses his shit in a way that seems completely over the top.
Yeah.
But that feels believable. By
Yeah,
the way,
yeah.
it? And then the fact that he's just like repeating the same words, being like, "You hit my son" and all this, is like, yeah, he probably had like limited language to describe the injustice that he feels.
Right.
So he just does that. I just found it all very, very believable. From
Yeah,
that
that's
point of
fair,
view,
actually.
with that.
I find it strange, maybe from a story writing standpoint, that that's how it ends.
Mhm.
This big, beautiful. But maybe that's the point, and maybe that's where good art doesn't need to be able to describe itself. It just does the thing that is emotionally true to the people that are creating it, and then it embodies something more than you can disseminate with analytics.
It's such an obscure ending and a kind of brutal realization of like that's the only bit of love that he ever got from his dad, that maybe I'm being too generous, but I see it as that happened in the writer-director's life.
Yeah, it might just be.
So that's why.
And in that case, that's really cool, isn't it? To hear this strange, particular human story.
Yeah. Well, there's they always talk about the universality of the specifics, don't they, for filmmaking and stuff. If you be more specific, it actually speaks to a wider truth.
Right.
Whereas if you're super general, people are like, "What am I getting? Yeah, all right, don't litter, I guess."
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah,
if you do something about like one toad in the forest becoming extinct, then people then think, "Oh God."
Yeah,
and
right.
They branch. They do it themselves.
And they say as well, don't they, that complexity breeds empathy.
Yeah.
So the more complex you make your character be, then the more the audience are likely to feel on their side.
Yeah, and I think with this, that felt so obscure, so niche, so like particular that it was like, nah, maybe that is true.
Yeah,
maybe that happened. Maybe the director, Lab Kaimo, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Maybe that's the only way that he knew that, or he or she knew that. Maybe that's the
IMDb guy.
Yeah.
You're absolutely smashing it.
That's the only way that he knew that his dad loved him.
Yeah.
Because maybe that's and there's weird shit like that happens all the time.
Yeah.
And then someone
really
else
good.
watches it who has had a similar experience, maybe not even in the immigrant experience, maybe just parental relationships, and they go like, "Oh, that cuts me deep," because I feel like the only time I knew my dad loved me was when so someone spilled coffee on me and he lost their shit on him or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
That's
I
really
only say
sweet.
coffee because I'm drinking coffee
Sure.
right now. It's a bit random, but
No, that you're right. Actually, there is something sweet about the particularity of it,
Yeah.
and I love it when the hero characters are totally flawed.
mm-hmm.
He's not like acting perfectly. He's like,
Oh, not at all. No.
it's like he goes way too far in one direction, but it overall paints this picture of a
Yeah, and he grassed his dad up. The kid.
Yeah, the kid grassed his
which
dad in.
initially felt like, no wonder he doesn't fucking love you.
Yeah,
he,
yeah, yeah.
He crashed him up, but then actually it was him being like, no, he did hit her.
Yeah.
He loves me.
And it was like,
was like, maybe-
that's why he said it, because he's kind of proud.
Because he's like, yeah, he did hit her.
I like that. And it didn't look like Ben Dubs was annoyed that the kid had told that to the officer.
He's like, bro, not in here.
Yeah.
Fuck, save it for the car. I do think the most unbelievable thing was, again, this could be something that happened in real life, so, maybe it's totally believable, but it felt like, no way is that girl going with that man in the car.
Yeah, that was wild, wasn't it?
No way.
I mean, 2009 was a different time, but
Not that different.
not that different.
Enough, and I'm not even to say like, oh, he's gonna like, abduct me or kidnap me and abuse me. Just like, no, I want to get out of this. I'm not going with you to the police station. I'm gonna fucking leg it.
Yeah,
to get out of trouble.
Yeah.
No,
she just happily rides in the back. Oh no, she's not happy. She's
not
crying
happy.
a lot.
She's having a little cry, but yeah, she.
Because
she's walking with him.
Because her dad is in the hospital dying next to Ben Dubs, right?
I wasn't sure if that was the same person.
Oh, or just another crying girl that reminded the kid of the.
Yeah, it can't be the same person because it's a kid in the hospital and
Thank
he's
you.
grown up Tony.
We're different
and then
ages.
It flashes back. It's
Yes.
just the fact that it was a white girl crying, I think.
Yes,
that
sorry,
reminds
you're
me.
completely right. Those scenes were set like 10 years apart.
yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
okay.
even more.
I feel
That
like,
girl's in prison right now.
yeah, okay, yeah. Do you feel like we've covered it? Is there anything else that we need to touch on?
Yeah, we've talked about this film for longer than the film. But I think that's fine because it's.
Do you know, there's one thing actually that I'd like to touch on just before we conclude, which is we started the thing and the first fucking frame is Ben Dubs. It's all Ben Dubs. It's like,
God
it's
for
so
that.
nice to see something where he's the guy.
Imagine watching this 17-minute short and he just turns up for 30 seconds at the end. You'd be like, "Oh, fuck's sake."
Yeah. So I believe it's my turn to ask you the question, capital Q.
Yeah, capital Dubs.
Did Benedict Wong make the Wong Decision?
Nope, that was the chair.
I don't know. We've been eating beans. By starring in my fucking hell.
Go on.
I was doing so well.
Go on.
Threw me off with your chair. Did Ben Dubs make the Wong Decision by starring in My Dad the Communist?
He made the right decision.
Holla!
Because just credit to him for just giving himself to this work.
Yeah.
Similar to how he gave himself to the Electric Dreams thing. Obviously, that's a bigger thing, and there's prestige with the Philip K. Dick than this, less so. But it's a heartfelt, important story, I think, especially if you're experiencing the immigrant experience or having any issues with your parents.
Yeah.
And credit to him for just doing it.
Yeah.
Because did he get paid? Our slogan, did he get paid?
I was thinking that this might be one where he might have done it for free.
I don't think he did get paid.
Yeah, because if he's just done Moon, and what else did he done that year?
He'd done Sunshine the year before.
Yeah, if he's just done Sunshine, I think he's not taking any money for this.
Yeah,
because they had so little to play with.
He probably knows him, and he's like, "I'll do it. I'll do it for you."
Like if they'd have spent the entire budget on just Ben Dubs' fee, it would have been so little to him that he would have not done the film.
And depending on how the filmmaker works, I see a world in which you get all of Benedict Wong's stuff done in a week on this.
Yeah, that sounds about right, doesn't
and he's
it?
just like, right, I've got a week's break from shooting or doing let's do your short film now.
Yeah.
You can see that happening.
Yeah, because how many locations is he in? About 5? Oh, he's in a fair few, maybe.
Yeah, there's
7.
a decent amount of locations. It all feels like it's all around the same street or whatever, same area.
Yeah.
And you could have shot some of the other stuff without him, like the TV stuff.
Marky Mark style. Anytime he's not on screen, he's not on set.
Yeah, well, it could be. Yeah, all the with them watching the Chinese massacre film footage.
Yeah,
it doesn't need to be there for that.
For their close-ups. Yeah,
some of the car driving scenes, he doesn't need to be driving the car. If he's if it's the shots from there's a shot where it crashes.
Right.
Behind,
yeah. Presumably he wasn't stunt driving.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he probably could have been like, right, Ben's free.
Yeah, we've got him for 5 days.
Yeah,
just in the middle of May.
Let's just nail it.
Fucking great.
I can see a world in which that happens.
Yeah.
So did he get paid?
I don't think he got paid.
I don't think he got paid.
So this will be the first time that we've said this, and I didn't know that this was ever going to be a thing, but he didn't get paid.
He didn't get paid.
All right. Oh wait. Boom, 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 boom. But Wong Decision. Boom, boom, boom. I almost forgot the music.
We need to do because that's the short film piano.
That's good.
Bling, bling, bling.
Thanks for listening to another episode of The Wong Decision. Next week, if you'd care to watch along with us, we're going to watch a 2011 short film. It's about 12 minutes long, called Painkiller. We are yet to find this, so, good luck. See you next week.